Okay, hi everybody. Today we are going to talk about patterns and sequences and how we can start to describe them and how we can write rules for them. So um, what I'm wondering about is how we can describe this pattern. And so what I'm looking at is how many boxes are being added from step to step. And so I noticed that there are like kind of these three sticking out here, and so I'm going to key into those. And I noticed that it kind of looks like there are three added each step. And so we could say add three more each step. And so that's a good way of describing this, but I want to go a little bit further. I want to think about, well, what would step 0 look like? What if I went backwards from step 1 to step 0? Maybe that would look like just 4 orange boxes like that. I don't know what step 7 would look like, but maybe think about that for a second. What I want to do now is I want to write a rule for this pattern, and I'm going to do that by looking at the process of how we're getting step to step. And so we said, all right, well, we know that we went from step 1 to step 2 by adding 3 each step, and that's fine. We'll use that information in a second, but that means that we added 3 to get from 0 to step 1 also. So remember that our step 0 looked like this, and we just had 4 boxes. So total there were 4 orange boxes. To get from here to here, we took our 4 boxes and then we added 3 more. We added 1, 2, and 3 more. To get from step 1 to step 2, we took our first 7 and then we added 3 more. And so we can write that we have 7 and then we have 10. To get from here to here, we started with our 4 and our 3 and our 3, and then we added 3 more. And so now I'm wondering, can we take this rule, what we're seeing in the process, and rewrite it in a way that uses the variable numbers? So, the step numbers, sorry. If I'm just looking at some random number, n, how would I find out how many boxes are in step n? Well, if these are the step numbers, we want to make our process have an n in it. And so, well, where do we see it? I notice that the thing that's changing is the number of plus 3s. And so if I wrote that a different way, I could write this as 4 plus no 3s. So 3 times 0. I could write this as 4 plus 3, how many times? Just 1 time. Remember that if I have multiplication with a parentheses, so these two things are multiplied together then. Okay, so then let's check this one. How many 3s am I adding? I'm adding 2 of them, okay? In this one, I'm adding 3 of them, okay? Well, what I notice here is that these 0, 1, 2, 3, they match perfectly with my step numbers that we were looking at. And so now I'm like, ooh, that makes me really excited because now I have a way to write my rule. If I was looking for any step number, I could just say 4 plus 3 times n, because the n is the step number. So if I wanted to know what was happening in step 43, I could just copy this down, but write 43 here instead. Okay, so what do I get when I actually check what my answer is? First, do the 3 times 43, and that's 129. And then I add the 4 at the end, and I get 133. So my answer is, in step 43, I would have 133 boxes. I'm going to ask that you try this on this one first, so you'll switch to the draw it slide on the next slide. And then you can come back and watch me do this problem.